Olympian Eileen Gu heads up Chinese New Year parade in her native San Francisco. San Francisco rang in the Year of the Fire Horse with its annual Chinese New Year parade Saturday evening, with thousands of revelers cheering on hometown hero and Olympic champion Eileen Gu as its grand marshal. The procession featured drums, dancing and floats celebrating the vibrancy of the Chinese-American community in the oldest celebration of its kind outside Asia and one of the largest. Civic leaders and performers paraded from downtown to Chinatown through popping firecrackers. Children marched wearing inflatable horses while lion dancers and martial artists waved to the crowd. The parade was first organized in the 1860s by Chinese immigrants who came to work during the California Gold Rush and wanted to share their culture through a favorite American tradition, the parade, according to the event website. While the celebration always draws massive crowds, attendees were especially excited for Gu, who drew loud cheers. Vanessa Chan of neighboring South San Francisco said she represents cultural infusion. "She's really wonderful. She's funny, sunny, and she represents positivity," Chan said. Gu appeared partway through the parade in a red dress, sitting in a red convertible adorned with flowers. The color is a symbol of good fortune and prosperity for the Chinese holiday. Parade organizer William G. said Gu was picked for the role by the middle of last year, before she competed in the 2025 Milan Cortina Winter Games, where she won 2 silver medals and 1 gold, making her the most decorated freestyle skier in Olympic history. "The Year of the Horse brings a lot of new life and energy," G said. "She definitely represents Chinese heritage and definitely is an icon." Gu has come under scrutiny for her decision to represent China in competition, and Megan Chin, also of South San Francisco, said she felt the Olympian was attacked unfairly. "When you're multicultural and you want to celebrate both heritages, it's great to be happy for someone if they want to celebrate their other heritage as well," Chin said. "I am proud of her." Calvin Louis, who attended with his young son, said he loved Gu's representation of the city where she was born and raised as well as her Chinese heritage. "That's her identity, both countries, so she gets the best of both worlds," Louis said. The morning air in San Francisco carried the familiar chill of the Pacific, but on this particular day the city felt warmer than usual. Red lanterns fluttered gently above Grant Avenue in Chinatown, their bright color glowing against the pale winter sky. The smell of incense, roasted chestnuts, and freshly cooked dumplings drifted through the streets, mingling with the excited chatter of thousands of people who had gathered for one of the city's most beloved traditions, the Chinese New Year parade. But this year felt different. There was a special anticipation in the crowd, a buzz that moved through Chinatown like an electric current. People lined the sidewalks hours before the parade was set to begin. Families held small red flags, children sat on their parents' shoulders, and elders leaned on railings, smiling with quiet pride. They were waiting for someone who represented more than just a celebrity. They were waiting for Eileen Gu, a daughter of 2 worlds. Eileen Gu was born in San Francisco, raised between cultures, and shaped by both the bustling neighborhoods of the Bay Area and the traditions of her Chinese heritage. To many, she represented the modern face of a global generation, someone who could effortlessly belong to 2 worlds at once. Yet beneath the headlines, the Olympic medals, and the magazine covers, Eileen remained deeply connected to the place where her story began. San Francisco. And on this Chinese New Year morning, the city welcomed her home. As the first drumbeats of the parade echoed through Chinatown, a wave of sound rolled down the street, deep, rhythmic, powerful. Lion dancers leapt and twisted beneath vibrant costumes, their eyes blinking playfully as they moved through the crowd. Firecrackers popped loudly, sending sparks into the air and laughter into the streets. Then, slowly, a decorated float came into view. Standing at the front, waving to the cheering crowd, was Eileen Gu. The moment the crowd erupted. She wore a bright red jacket embroidered with golden patterns, a color symbolizing luck, happiness, and prosperity. The sunlight caught the gold thread, making it shimmer like sparks from a firework. The crowd erupted. "Eileen! Eileen!" Phones rose into the air as people tried to capture the moment. Children pointed excitedly while grandparents nodded with approval. For many in the audience, Eileen represented something deeply meaningful, not just athletic greatness, but a story of identity. A story of heritage. A story of belonging. She smiled widely, clearly moved by the energy of the city. San Francisco was not just another stop on a celebrity tour. It was home. From San Francisco streets to Olympic slopes. Years earlier, Eileen had been just another kid growing up in the Bay Area, though even then, there were hints of the extraordinary. Her mother often took her to the mountains to ski. What began as family outings soon became something more. Eileen had a natural ability, a fearless style, and a love for the freedom of the slopes. Soon, she was competing. Then winning. Then dominating. The world watched in awe as she rose through the ranks of freestyle skiing, eventually capturing Olympic gold and becoming one of the most recognized athletes of her generation. Yet through it all, she often spoke about culture and identity. About how she felt equally proud of her American upbringing and her Chinese heritage. About how she hoped to build bridges rather than walls. Standing on that parade float, surrounded by red lanterns and cheering families, those words felt more real than ever. Chinatown's celebration of heritage. The San Francisco Chinese New Year Parade is one of the largest celebrations of its kind outside Asia. For more than a century, it has been a symbol of cultural pride, resilience, and community. Generations of immigrants built lives in Chinatown while holding tightly to traditions that reminded them of home. The parade celebrates those traditions. Dragons stretch for dozens of feet down the street, carried by teams of dancers moving in perfect coordination. Drums pound like heartbeats. Martial artists demonstrate ancient techniques, while children toss candy from colorful floats. Every year, the parade tells a story. This year, that story included Eileen Gu. A symbol of a new generation. Watching Eileen wave to the crowd, many saw more than an Olympian. They saw possibility. 4 young Asian Americans in the audience, she represented a new kind of hero, someone who was proud of her heritage while thriving on the global stage. A little girl wearing a ski helmet costume tugged on her mother's sleeve. "That's her," she shouted. The mother smiled. "Yes," she said softly. "That's her." Moments like this are why representation matters. A child sees someone who looks like them doing something extraordinary, and suddenly their own dreams feel possible. Eileen seemed to understand that responsibility. She leaned down from the float to greet children along the street, exchanging high fives and smiles. The crowd loved it. The dragon arrives. As the parade continued, a massive golden dragon appeared behind Eileen's float.